Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got a brand new event in Hockey Ultimate Team, including probably my favorite master set of all time being added to the game. So we'll go through the event like we always do. I'll go over all the other cards as well as the masters, and we'll talk about if we should make them, if you should avoid them, if you should hold out, and all of that. Again, guys, if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel for the most up-to-date news, tips, and info. All right, let's get into the video. All right, we'll start things off by going over all the new cards. We'll kick things off with the 86 Andre Miller, 6'5", one of the best cards at the end of NHL 21. He's got Magician and Booming Shot as well as Bombarded. He's got great height, obviously, at 6'5". If you've just started the game and you've got base cards on your team, 87 overall speed and acceleration is pretty brutal. But at 6'5", you're going to need someone to at least be able to get the puck back in your own zone. So having a left-handed this big really isn't all of that of a detriment. You just want to make sure that the right-handed player you pair him with is someone fast, like base Cale Makar would be an example. Then we've got the 87 Kristers Levskis. I feel like this was the guy that had that insane world championship or Olympic game for Latvia against Canada a while ago. Maybe I'm wrong. I know he was a Tampa Bay Lightning prospect at one point, but 6'4", he comes with light work, which isn't bad in terms of an ability, but at 87 overall, he's worth more trading into sets than he is actually using. Alexander Barabanov, quickly becoming one of my favorite Sharks to watch. He actually scored a goal against the Canucks last night with 0.6 seconds remaining to send it to overtime, in which they ended up losing. He's 5'10", though, and isn't a very good skater in this game, so this isn't a void if you are looking for a card that would actually go in your lineup. Close quarters is nice, which is a nice odd to, that goal last night. But yeah, the whole mix, there's much better left-handed players for the price that you're going to have to spend for the 87 Alexander Barabanov. Then we've got the 88 Tyler Myers. Much like Andre Miller, this is a really good card just to have on your team for defensive purposes. 88 speed, 80 acceleration is pretty tough. However, the reach that he will have if you pair him with someone a little bit faster on the left-hand side, just really, really useful. He's going to get the puck back against anyone because of his size. Just obviously that speed you're going to have to be careful about. Geodano from the Kraken is up next in a fantastic ability combo in Gold Shutdown and Silver Stick 'em Up. He's got Wingman and Distributor. The speed at 89 is tough because he's only 6'1", but this is still a useful card because of the zone abilities, and because he's 89 overall, he's going to go for about 40k. I don't know if I'd want to spend 40k on this card. Luke Robitaille, 90 overall now with Gladiator as well as Magician and Booming Shot. He's got Make It Snappy and Snipe, which are two of the more extremely expensive abilities for what they actually do. But 93 speed, 93 acceleration is nice. Mid-90s shooting, mid-90s hand stats. You could do a lot worse, especially because 90 overalls, well, now they do go into sets, but they're around 45,000 coins, which is a decent value for this card. Up next is the 91 Lanny McDonald, a right-handed winger at 6 foot, 91 speed, 91 acceleration with Distributor, and Wingman does have truculence and close quarters. Low 90s shooting, deking and hand stats are decent. Defensively, he's not bad either. Could play center, honestly, if you're decent on the draws. I'm not a huge fan of truculence on your wingers up front. I think it's a little bit more important on the back end, but it's not terrible. Close quarters on a forward isn't bad either if you run Crash the Net, so this could be a decent option. And 91s are actually pretty cheap because they aren't specific for a set. Obviously, it's 90 plus right now, so anything above that kind of hits value pretty hard, so this might be a decent card for you. Paul Covey comes up next. He's got a couple of cards recently with Born Leader and 1T. Such an expensive zone ability. I talked about that in my abilities rank or my abilities changes video. I just wish it was a little bit cheaper for defensemen. 92 speed, 93 acceleration is nice, though. He's got mid-90s shooting. He's always going to be a pretty good card. It's just going to depend how much you're going to have to pay for him. Like, if he's 100,000 coins, I don't think I would do it. We'll see if there's any up right now. I'm not sure if there will be. There is. And man, he's just so expensive. He should come down in price, guys. If he gets to around 100k, then I think you could pull the trigger, I think, just because of his skating alone. But it's going to be tough activating his zone ability. Jaromir Jagr gets another card, 93 overall, 89 speed, 88 acceleration. I learned my lesson from the Master Set card that came out at the beginning of the game. He is extremely slow, and he plays even slower. So while Jaromir Jagr is still one of my favorite players ever, just awfully tough. There's something wrong with the Jaromir Jagr cards. For anyone that does use him, though, let me know. I would love to hear if this card is different than his 91 Master Set card. And then we've got the 95 Nathan McKinnon with Gold Elite Edges and Unstoppable Force with Gladiator and Thief. as well as booming shot. All of Nathan McKinnon's cards are great. Again, 95 speed, 95 acceleration with high 90 shooting. He can play center if you want, if he has Thief activated. But yeah, just an all-around great right-handed card. If you don't have his X Factor, I'd rather pay the cost to get this one than pay up for his X Factor. All right, guys, moving on to the master sets for this event. 96 overall Mika Zabinijad with Thief, which would allow him to play center, which is something that you just never happens because his card, for whatever reason, always has such brutal face-off rating. He's got booming shot and then bombarded or heart and soul, so that third one is pretty tough to activate. And I'm not gonna lie, his abilities are kind of mediocre. Again, gold snipe is brutal. Silver Shutdown, while that's only one ability point, is great, but it's just not really as useful on a forward as it is a defenseman, but still good. Third Eye, I'm not a huge fan of anymore. Unstoppable Force, I don't notice enough. Then Elite Edges is good. However, he is 6'2" with 94 speed, 94 acceleration. This is a great card. Max hand stats, really high shooting. Defensively, he's really good. The only issue is that there's so many good right-handed cards that you could get in the game. I mean, you just had basically the free Tyler Seguin if you went that route, but you've got Stamkos, you've got Eichel, who probably get an upgrade soon. If you've got a really expensive team, you've already got Nathan McKinnon as well as Barzal. I mean, Mario Lemieux. It just list kind of goes on, but don't get it twisted. This is a very, very good card. We've got the 96 Morgan Rielly. He's got Buzzing as well as Gladiator, Booming Shot, and then Workhorse or Spark. 95 speed, 96 acceleration, 99 agility. Great skater. Just an unbelievable defenseman in that aspect. He's got 97 body checking, stick checking, and defensive awareness are basically maxed. Seeing Eye, I wish he had 1T to go with it. It obviously is one of the better ones. Again, I wish the cost was lower, but Seeing Eye and 1T appears to be the way that you can get one-timers to actually go. Elite Edges, I'm not a huge fan of. Tape to tape, if you take a lot of D2D one-timers, tape to tape on defenseman is actually kind of sneaky because that pass is actually kind of difficult to make. And then in reverse. So, I mean, while his abilities I'm not a huge fan of, he's obviously one of the best left-handed defenseman cards in the game right now. I'd rather have him than, let's say, Sergei Gonchar. I think he's going to crack into that top three. He's very, very close. But I'd probably still rather have Bouwmeester, just given the zone ability as well as his skating. Then we've got the 96 Braden Holtby, great synergies, as well as goal post to post and light work. The only issue is that he's 6'2". There are so many other master set goaltenders that are great. This one is probably fine, although 6'2", we're getting into that, where it's going to cause some issues with wrist shots up top, but he's got the best superstar abilities you can get. A really, really good card all the way around, but again, I think I'd much rather have, Hellebuck, Leonard, Rene, Carey Price, just so many other options. I wouldn't spend that much on this card. And then finally, after years of asking EA, I don't know how, but there has now been 4 Sharks master sets in the last month, essentially. I apologize for that, but I'm not going to apologize for this because an NHL Moments event, this is one of the best moments in the last decade in terms of the regular season. I mean, Thomas Hertl's, rookie season, 5 games in, essentially, between the legs over Marty Baron, basically retired Marty Baron from the NHL. He's an unbelievable card, 6'2", 94 speed, 94 acceleration, left-handed with great face-offs as well. Very good defensively. He is essentially the left-handed version of Zabinijad. The reason why I say he's very good is because left-handed wingers, there is not a ton of amazing ones at the top end because he's 6'2". There's a lot of good left-handed wingers, but they're a lot smaller, like Kucherov, Kaprizov, Patrick Kane, for example. If you don't have Evo Duchesne, there's probably a lot of you that need that top-end left-handed winger if you don't have McDavid either. Comes with elite edges. I'm not a huge fan of paying 8 for him, but if he's going to be on your first line, absolutely. It reminds me of a really buffed-up version of the Zetterberg card. He's got Born Leader, tape to tape. I just think this is going to be a really fun card. He is not a must-make. I will say that. I don't think he's a must-make, but he's an extremely good card, and I've already on my way to getting the 96 as we speak. So let's talk about it again. It does appear this is a 2-week event. No promise of a second week of master items, but I would be willing to bet there is. I'd be stunned if they only have 4 for a 2-week event. So you can expect another 4 master set items to come. We'll take a look at the objectives as right now it looks like there is a ton. You can get a lot of collectibles, so you can get 3 right there, 4, 5, 6, and then when you get the 6 done, you'll get another 5, right? So right there, that's 11 you can get off the rip, so that'll get you well on your way if you are looking to make one of these. Like I said, I don't think any of these are must makes at all. I think that there are better options probably. Hurdle is definitely going to be the one that you should consider the most. Even Morgan Rielly, it's going to depend. Like, Rielly will not replace Hedman, which makes it difficult. So then you're talking about your second defenseman, and at that point, would you pay that much for a second defenseman? But I will say this. This is the week if you want to make one, because prices are starting to plummet because there isn't a lot of interest in a lot of these players. Like I said, Morgan Rielly and Hurdle are extremely good cards, and I don't think you'll be upset with making them. So, like, right now, if you go and look, there is the new 90 overall trading set. So I hope you guys listened and picked up a bunch of 90 overalls. Again, if you're not a big fan of Hurdle and you don't need Morgan Rielly, I would not make any this week. I think that's fine. Just hold out. But you want to make sure, guys, I was looking at the 86 overalls. And the one thing I was noticing is that they were going for like 15,000, 16,000 coins, which is just like right around 400,000 in total. And that's a decent price, like to go all the way from 86 all the way up. So if you are looking for that, like that might not be bad. So if you take a look and buy the 86s, those are going for like 4,600 at 14,000 coins. That's not bad at all, because at the end of the day, you're paying 370,000 coins to go all the way from the 86 to the 96. And I think Morgan Rielly and Hurdle are worth it. I'll have an in-depth video tomorrow talking about my ranking and things about that in comparison. But yeah, just off the rip, I don't think there is a big rush to make them. So you can hold on to your cards and just kind of wait and see. I wouldn't be selling anything right now, guys. If you have a ton of cards to buy or a ton of cards in your collection, just hold on to them. I would not sell them yet because a lot of people are selling all of their cards because they're not interested in making them. Taking a quick look at the Master Set Pack event, you get a random week 1 event, not worth the price at all. So just I would not make this one at all. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think of the brand new event, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.